Asher and Puntland on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
No one gets away. We don't need to stay. We fall safety. It's all gone. We'll strip it away. New reality. Hysteric. No safe space.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who, man, I love their new music. So let's welcome to the show Alex from Deadly Apples. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And can I say right off the bat, I don't know why, but I just absolutely love your band name.
Thank you.
It doesn't even matter why. It's just that it just rolls off the tongue and sounds cool.
Yeah, that's why I picked it a long time ago.
There you go.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it can have many different meanings depending on, every person's perspective. So, yeah.
I love you saying that too, because that is, to me, that is a good name, or that is cool, where people can just put their own perspective to whether it's the band name, a song name, lyrics, because if it's giving them joy and giving them therapy, which music does, that's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us about, so you got this new single out off the upcoming new album, Volatile, which this song is, it's pretty badass, just to be blunt.
Thank you. I appreciate.
So tell us how that came about. From your perspective, what made this even get on paper to make a song out of it?
Well, we spent a long time working on the new album, which is called Distress. And, for a while, we weren't exactly sure in what direction we were going. And we did some pre-production work with Michael Beinhorn, who's an amazing producer who's worked with, everyone from Korn to Ozzy to Soundgarden. And he basically sent us 10 pages of notes, which essentially said that it felt restrained, and we should just go all out with what Deadly Apples is about. And essentially, Antoine, my bandmate who writes all the music, he started writing songs that were a lot more aggressive, energetic, and out of that batch of songs came Volatile, which we're very proud of. And the reaction so far has been great. It's the first single from the album, and the support we've been getting for it has been kind of overwhelming. So we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, people have been saying, and I agree, that it has this old school industrial sound and like a Nine Inch Nails type of sound, which makes sense. But it has its original creativity to it, but it has that familiarity to it, to where as soon as you hear the song, you like it.
Oh, thank you. We actually had Danny Lohner, who was in Nine Inch Nails, and collaborated with so many amazing artists, everyone from Rob Zombie to A Perfect Circle, and the list goes on. And he performed the guitar and bass parts on that song and on the entire album, actually. And we also had Richard Patrick of Filter and who was also in Nine Inch Nails originally, do some harmony vocals in the choruses. So it was great to have these guys come in as well and participate in that song.
And so, how did that happen anyway? Like, tell us a story of what led to them participating in the song.
Well, I met Danny years ago through an old friend, Fat Mike of NoFX, and I just kept in touch with Danny over that time. And when time came for us to go in the studio, and we were doing it in LA, so I hit Danny up, and he was available and was into it. So we just did it, and with Richard, we were already following each other on Instagram, and I guess he saw that we were working with Danny, who he knows, and also with Ben Gross, who mixed the album, and we were actually working at his studio. So he just offered to come by, try singing on some stuff, and it ended up working out for Volatile. So that's how it came about.
Nice. Well, it definitely, I love the song. Everybody's got to check it out. And so, can you tell everybody how they can connect to you guys on socials, on the web, how they can check out the new song? The video's really cool too. I think that's a lot of creativity right there. I love the whole look of the video. People have to check it out for sure. Tell them how they can, and also pre-save the new album for when it comes out.
Yeah, well, the video was actually directed by my bandmate Antoine, who's worked in the film industry, and we're definitely proud of that. And yeah, that the video was just recently released on YouTube, but otherwise the song is all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and basically the plan is to release the full album this coming summer, and in the meantime we'll keep releasing more songs from the album and more music videos. So there's a lot more coming, and this is really just the first step.
Nice. And yeah, and at the end of March 29th, you're going to be playing a festival in Lima, Peru. That's pretty cool. I do a lot of festivals. I didn't even think of Peru as a place to go for a music festival myself, and I'm like all over the world. So, have you ever played this festival?
We played twice in Peru actually, and the
Yeah,
crowds there are insane.
really.
The first time Deftones was the headliner. Second time it was with Slipknot in a massive stadium, and yeah, the crowds there are insane.
I
So
think,
we're looking forward to going back, and they got a great lineup on that festival. You know, Avenged Sevenfold, Marilyn Manson, Anthrax. So it's gonna be pretty huge.
yeah, I definitely think I want to go to that festival myself, and especially after what you said. Like, I wonder if it's because they don't have as much of it that the U.S. has, Europe has, UK, Canada. So they really, instead of like people here in the U.S., we have so much of it that people complain, and I'm like, man, we didn't have music for 2 years. I wouldn't complain about anything now. So I think Peru and places like that kind of maybe have that same vibe. It's like they're so thankful to have it.
I think it's probably part of it, because whenever we play in South America or Mexico, people go crazy. And also, it's probably part of their culture, like just the party atmosphere, and
Yeah.
they're just more loose down there. It feels like, as opposed to places like Japan, for instance, where they're super polite. They just clap, they jump up and down, no mosh pits, no crowd surfing, which is a cool experience as well. But that's what's interesting, getting to travel the world and just seeing how the crowds are different depending on all the different cultures, and even within the same country. Like, obviously when we play in the US, massive country, and and it feels like when we're in some more rural states, people are more intense than when we play some of the bigger cities,
Yeah.
because I guess as you mentioned, in a sense, people when they have every single band that's ever existed playing in their city, like every single night, they some people might become a bit jaded, and they
Yeah.
don't they don't have the excitement of if you're in a smaller town, and there's only a few amazing shows every year. But yeah, it's definitely interesting seeing all those differences.
I agree, and I see it myself in my country here because, like, going to a festival in Florida compared to Louisville, compared to California, is like three different worlds right there alone, And then, going overseas, yeah, I do Download and Bloodstock in the UK, it's very close to each other, but they're totally different festivals. But people are like, it's almost like a cultish thing there, especially with Bloodstock. That's like there's a cultish following to that festival. There's one I do here in the United States like that called Rocklahoma, and like one of the most insane campgrounds of any festival I've ever been to. It's just, they have this whole own little world there. So yeah, you're right. And then I think you guys have played at Hellfest before, which I've covered, and man, that place, that's like just a city.
Yeah, that's probably the most impressive festival I've ever seen. It feels like you're walking in Disneyland, but for rockers and metalheads. It's insane what they built there, for sure. And
Yeah,
that was an amazing festival to play.
I bet. And it's funny because I said the same thing. The first time I covered Hellfest, I said the same thing to my daughter. I'm like, it's like being at Disneyland. Because it is so cool. And like, one of the most memorable things is I was walking through the little village, and there was a band performing on a stage on a roof that the stage was no bigger than like a kitchen table or something, but it was like just such a cool vibe. And then the Lemmy sculpture is pretty wild. And then you got what I thought was cool too is you had these stages that were dedicated to very specific genres. Like you had the death metal stage, you had the black metal stage, the hardcore stage. And so, yeah, it was just really a wild experience. And then after it was over, walking into a campground, I was watching shopping cart races. Yeah. So anything else you got going on that you know of as far as live dates in 2025?
We've got a bunch of stuff that's still not 100% confirmed, but hopefully we'll be able to announce it soon. But the plan is definitely to play more shows, tour more, come back to the US. I'm not sure when this is being released, but next week we're actually announcing a festival that we're going to be doing in Florida, but
Ooh, I think
we
I
can't
know which
announce
one.
it yet.
I
Yeah,
think
so
I might know which one too, and I'll probably be there. So we'll talk there. So cool. I love it, and everybody's got to check you guys out if they haven't seen you before, and if they are fans already. Man, this new music is incredible. I love it. I can't wait to see it live. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
oh, thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone listening who have been supporting the new music.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.